So I was, I think, 2.5 when we moved to Perth, and my mum was Irish, and my dad had grown up in Rosyth pre-war, during the war. So I suppose his local team would have been Dunfermline, but he'd moved about. We'd been down south, and then he'd worked at Glasgow Airport. So when myself and my older brother, sort of late 70s, were really getting into football, quite rightly, my dad, suggested, took us to our local team rather than the team that he maybe supported. So I think my first game was 1st of May 1979, Saints v Dundee, Wednesday night game. Saints won 3-2. I think that season Saints were pushing to avoid getting relegated from Division 1. Dundee were trying to get promoted, I think. And it was a rearranged game from, I think, New Year's Day. So I've never managed to track down the programme, because the programme date is actually different to when the game was played. So no, Saints at that, a bit like throughout my lifetime being a St Johnstone supporter, there's been highs and lows, and more often lows, but those lows make the highs even better. I think we got promoted in about, was it 83? We had the biggest match of like growing up at Muirton was when we played Rangers in 81, and Saints were, it ended up 3-3, and of course Ian Redford scored the late goal for Rangers to equalise. And then we lost at the replay at Ibrox, which of course was Alan McCoist's first goal for Saints. First goal at Ibrox was for Saints against Rangers. But yeah, great players at that time, Jimmy Morton, John Brogan. And it was great going to Old Muirton. And yeah, we weren't particularly the best team then, but I really enjoyed it. So as a wee boy going to Muirton Park, it was absolutely thrilling. It just was this exciting place. The smells, the sound, the floodlights, seeing big crowds then, and of course fans were still drinking in the early days, so it was quite a mad atmosphere. There was things getting thrown, bottles being filled with not very nice things, and also the fans could change ends at half time. So I just loved it. It was a great experience. And then you had the main stand, and it felt like total luxury compared to being on the open terracing. And just so many great games. And yeah, I really actually miss those. I like going to old grounds now to sort of recapture that feeling. I love it when you're allowed to be in the terracing, at Capello or something, or an old stand at Wraith Rovers. So yeah, great memories. Oh, do you mean a positive moment? I think for me, it was season 2013, 2014 when we finally won a national trophy. It was the semi-final at Ibrox. I think Saints had gone, you'll know better than me, but it felt like, from me being a child, we'd only ever made it into one cup final, which was the League Cup final in '98. So I think we'd lost something, was it like 12 semi-finals? We were on a run of about eight in about 10 years, I think we'd lost. So I literally didn't feel as if we would ever make it to a cup final. And again, in the League Cup final that season, we'd been gubbed at Tynecastle by Aberdeen. And then, of course, we draw Aberdeen again, and we go 1-0 down at half time. And the Aberdeen fans spent the whole of the half time singing "Who the fuck is Stevie May?" because he'd never scored against them, and and he was having such a great season. And of course, the second half was just a dream. Stevie May scored once, then he scored twice, and then there was the realisation that May 17 on his back was the date of the actual cup final. We were through to a cup final without one of the old firm. So it just felt so amazing to reach the Scottish Cup final, as we never had. And for me, that was the fantastic moment. At that point, it didn't matter if we won or lost it. Just to get to the final felt huge. And of course, it got even better, and we did win it.